one in every 4 Volvo cars sold in 2023 was an electric vehicle. And come 2024, the expectation is one in every 3 cars sold will be an EV. Clearly, electrification is gathering momentum in the luxury car space. And to talk more about what's the way ahead for Volvo and the luxury car market, we have with us Mr. Jyoti Malhotra, MD of Volvo Cars India. Thank you, Mr. Malhotra, for talking to Autocar.
My pleasure.
Help us understand the evolving electrification landscape in India. What's been your assessment of the year 2023 and what are you expecting in 2024?
No, I think 23 was a really good year for us. We had a good growth of 31% over the previous year, which is always good. Growth is always good to have. And within that, the most heartening part is we had a good volume coming from electric cars. As you rightly said, close to a little more than 25%, actually 28% cars which we sold from our portfolio were all electric. We had 2 electric cars, XC40 Recharge and C40 Recharge. XC40 had the full year and C40 was only for a few months. With that, we got to a good numbers in terms of EV penetration, which also helped us to have a good share in the market of close to, I think, 23-24% share for the EV luxury segment. So we are very happy the way 23 has panned out, and we are also happy with the way EV is now getting traction in the market.
So in a way, you were amongst the late entrants when it comes to ICE, but on EV front, probably you are already amongst the top 2 or 3. Help us understand what is really leading to acceptance for EVs in the market, the behavioral acceptance in the consumer's mind, and why Volvo? What are the reasons you think?
So I think 2 things I would say. I think customers are now preferring to buy an electric car for one reason, which is sort of a hidden reason, is basically sustainability. People do care for environment. We underrate that, but people do really care for the environment, and I think that propels them to start thinking of buying an EV. Within luxury segment, EVs make, I would say, even better sense, because one of the key requirement probably is that for home charging you need a private parking space, and in luxury segment that's a much easier requirement, and they are able to provide it and have a privileged parking place for them, which makes it much easier. And then typical luxury car owner has a multiple car owner, so the adoption is much faster here. When it comes to Volvo, I believe there are reasons that we are getting the sort of response that we expect. One, when it comes to electric cars, electric vehicles, I think we offer, I think in terms of safety is one of the things that Volvo is always known for, and people have a very strong faith when it comes to EVs, and when they buy a EV from Volvo, I think this faith comes into play, which helps customers to sort of decide to buy a Volvo EV. When they think of buying an EV, then Volvo becomes a natural choice. That is helping us.
There was one odd incident of C40 catching fire. Could you just help our readers understand what exactly was the issue? Have you kind of got to the bottom of the problem?
See, the investigations are still going on. I think this is a rarest of the rare. All I can say is that it's a rarest of the rare incident which happened, and it was unfortunate. But I think the customer was proactive in terms of car prompted customer to take certain action, and customer took those actions, and I think customer acknowledges that this sort of saved his life. And I'm in a way, as I said, it's unfortunate, but it is also good that the customer has shown faith in still continuing to buy an EV, and that too from Volvo. So he has taken a C40, and actually he has taken a C40, another C40 for his partner,
which is fantastic.
Which is, I think, acknowledgement that customers have that faith in us, despite this unfortunate incident. But the belief is that the car has enough safety measures to support you in case of a mishap. This is like any other mishap. So I think that way it is.
So it is just a minor hiccup that one is seeing.
Yeah, it's, as I said, it's the rarest of the rare things. Our team, global team, is also digging deep into it in terms of what really happened there.
Right. What's the way ahead? Short term, mid term, what are the kind of penetration do you anticipate when it comes to electrification space, and what share would the Volvo want?
So first thing first, by 2030 we will be an all electric car company globally, and so be in India. I think that's the sort of
goalpost
where we want to reach to, and we continue to progress in that direction. And I think we had announced that we will start bringing one car every year. It's like May not exactly 1 year, but I think so we will have more cars coming hopefully in 25, and then we keep adding more cars in this direction. And I think, as I said, we are already at 28%. Hopefully we should be a little better this year, maybe close to 1/3, as you said, and then from there very soon go to a 50% and then to 100% electric car.
CQ is your rival, EX30. That's the most accessible. I'm sure there's a lot of excitement from Indian consumers as well, and the EX90 as well. What about when do we expect those models into the Indian market?
Yeah, so I think we are, as I said, we need to bring these cars in form of a CKD.
Right.
We want to assemble those cars in India, and that requires sort of fresh investigation, both in terms of meeting the requirement, the regulatory requirement, as well as technical requirements. So we are at that process, which means that we don't want to bring a CBU car because of the custom duties and all. So we will get them hopefully somewhere next year. Both these cars, that's what we are working on right now.
2024 itself?
25.
25, sorry, next year.
Next year we want to bring both of these cars, but at exactly what time we'll share more details later.
What's your view on the current demand environment at this point in time? The market has been growing at a fast clip, but clearly the base is catching up. What is your expectation? Any headwinds, any challenges that you're facing?
Not exactly headwinds, but I think the mass, specifically I think for overall car industry, yes, I think we are now number 3 globally, 4.1 million cars ahead of Japan. So I think the mass is now, the base effect will come into play.
Right.
So percentages may not look that big, but I think we will keep adding more volumes. And I think in luxury segment, obviously, we want really this pie to grow. We are just like 1% or 1.1% of the whole passenger vehicle industry. We really want to sort of take the leap forward. Right. And I believe that at some point in future, we should, once we get to 3%, I think then there is no looking back. But when we'll get there is anybody's guess. But we need to go to the 3%.
So there'll be correction in growth rate, but yet the double-digit growth for the luxury car market should continue?
Around that is what I believe. I think somewhere in that range, yes, it should continue.
Any headwinds? I mean, a lot of talk about Red Sea challenge and supply chain challenges. A lot of talk about currency, given the disruption in the global economic environment. Any cost-related challenges, charging-related challenges? I mean, what are the factors that you would keep an eye on for to circumvent for further growth?
Specifically, I think when it comes to Red Sea, we are seeing some delays, but I don't think that is causing any big hiccups. But it's a delay. Delay is a delay. Beyond that, I think we need to ensure that we continue to work with our parent company to ensure that we are sort of in the right frame. And I think when it comes to cost, sometimes we try not to pass on the input cost to the consumer and absorb that, but beyond a point when it goes to a limit that we need to pass on, we have no choice but to do that. So let's hope that things continue to go in the right direction. For Indian condition this year, I think we have elections coming, and I think sometimes we have seen elections can be a little disruptive in
temporary blip
in those months. So that can be sort of a cause of concern, so to say. But hopefully after that, things should pick up.
So, barring a minor blip, we are on course for a sustained growth, you feel?
I think so. I think India is poised for growth. I think the potential-wise, we are still, I think, what, 36, 35, around that, car penetration per capita. And I think there is huge sort of potential. It's still in front of us. The way in last few years, the road infrastructure has improved, which will encourage people to take more choices with more mobility and moving around on their own cars. I think will further propel growth. So growth is bound to come, and with the Indian economy poised to be among the top 3, when is the question, but we all know it's going to happen. So we are in that direction, and that will definitely help the car industry and luxury industry to grow.
One of the key changes that you did to your operation was also to sell directly to consumers. How has been the experience so far? And do you see that translating into mainstream luxury car market for your brand as well?
Yeah, so when we started selling our electric cars, from day one, we decided that we will sell electric cars through a direct route, which basically means what we call it internally as online direct sales. So cars are, the prices to a customer are now visible online. The waiting time or the delivery period is also very transparently available online. Customers can pay directly to us and we can directly invoice the car to the customer and send it through retailer to be delivered at dealer end. So it's sort of, it's very convenient from a customer perspective, and also basically becomes very transparent. And what we have heard as a feedback from our own customers are liking this, because transparency and convenience is something that the luxury customer is looking for, and this is what we have been able to offer. Now, how and when we take it to all car lines, it's a matter of time. But our plan right now is that as we add more electric cars, we'll continue to sell electric cars through this route. And it's, yes, at appropriate time, we'll have to take a call as to add rest of the car lines also into this model.
Just lastly, on the pillars of growth, because you are moving in all direction, just a while back we spoke about the used car space as well, new models, more assembly. What are the key levers of growth for Volvo in the coming 2 to 3 years is going to be? Models, expansion of dealership, used cars?
See, first thing, obviously, we'll continue to focus and sort of continue to add our journey towards electrification. That's, I think, one of the key area of focus for us. Rejig the organization to take this transformation journey. So we are now sort of ready for that. And then, obviously, we need to ensure that all these cars are assembled here in India, and we are sort of working for ensuring that all the new cars that come in are also assembled here in India. So that's another very, very important aspect, because each car nowadays comes in on a different platform, and every platform requires a special investigation and planning, and that's exactly what we are
Which
doing.
you call for further investments in future.
Absolutely. So I think it's an overall package, so we need to continue on that direction. And while as far as new car sales is concerned, we are looking at adding, offering more car lines on online direct sales, but parallelly we also need to enhance the service reach. So we are right now in process of doing a study, looking at our growth potential and our ambitions, and we will be sort of coming out with a plan to expand our service reach and make it much more strong. And yes, used car, we have a program called Volvo Select, which we started doing at few dealerships last year. This year our plan is to now go and expand. We wanted to do last year, but it was like a learning phase. So we are now available at 8 of our dealerships. Rest of the dealers will add this year, and then from there we'll sort of add across.
So idea is to add a lot more first-time buyers and give more accessible Volvos to the Indian buyers.
Exactly.
Right. All right, sir. Thank you very much. Wish you
My
all the best
pleasure.
for your endeavors in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Wish
you.
you all the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.